investigation. Now to the extraordinary background of one of Perth's biggest mining identities. In her series Behind the Bottom Line, Alison Fan speaks to millionaire George Jones, whose childhood was spent in an orphanage. Now he's devoting his time to paying back the special place that saved his life.
Well, my parents were chronic alcoholics and we were taken off them when I was 5.
George Jones, one of Australia's most influential mining leaders, laying bare a childhood he credits for where he is today.
I was in a couple of different institutions, but finally finished up in Parkerville when I was 8, and I stayed there till I was 15.
He's softly spoken and reluctant to talk about his many achievements and awards in the finance and iron ore industries, keeping his speeches for the boardroom and AGMs. Now George Jones is going public at every opportunity to raise awareness and funds for Parkerville. He says saved his life.
Parkerville took me out of the situation. I mean, it was dreadful. And, gave you home, fed, clothes.
As a young ward of the state, this is where he called home.
My family was Parkerville. This veranda, there was a row, there probably would have been a dozen beds.
Sharing memories of his Spartan childhood with wife Penny and 2 of their adult daughters.
Each of the boys, there were about 18 of us, you'd all have jobs to do. There'd be 2 for the kitchen, there'd be 2 for the wood, a couple for the gardens, a couple for the floors. There's a little shed on the back left-hand corner there, that's where the potato peeling room was. That was one of the legendary jobs.
A rigid and tough discipline for 8 years, he says moulded him for the workforce.
At 15, time to leave and get out and work out how you're going to live the rest of your life.
Now, after 35 years of controlling billion-dollar mining companies like Portman, Sundance, Jindalby, he's pouring energy and money into giving back. Cystic fibrosis, medical research, the George Jones Ear Science Institute in Subiaco. And this, his most passionate project, the George Jones Advocacy Centre in Armidale, one of the first of its kind in the world, dealing with the horrific number of child abuse victims.
The key thing is we've got to start repairing these kids as soon as possible. Where you can see from the environment, it's child-friendly. They come in here, contrast that to, say, going to a police station in Stirling Street. We have the facilities for medical examinations here. We have an arrangement with Princess Margaret. We have paediatricians here. We can take them immediately. The lovely friendly room there where they can select all nice new clothes and if they're hungry, get fed. We only opened 2 years ago, and we've seen 2,000 families through here. Where did they all go before we came here?
This unique centre has been heavily supported by Lotterywest.
Well, the lotteries contributed significantly to this building, and they're always helping with various programs, computer systems, some work we're doing restoring the campus at Parkerville.
Lotterywest this month celebrating its 80th birthday, the only lottery in Australia and one of the few in the world where the proceeds raised from lottery products are returned directly to the community. Parkerville, one of its very first beneficiaries.
Well, Lotterywest have been a friend of ours since they started. The first round of grants that they ever did, we were the second recipient. £200 is what we got, which, if you think back 80 years ago, is a lot of money.
Parkerville CEO Basil Hanna says Lotterywest has been a lifeline.
They give us hope to go away and try and achieve something, and that's really important for organisations that are working in the community sector. George is pivotal to our success. He's been around for about 12 years on the board and chairman of the investment group. But probably the most important thing that George does to us is the advocacy that he has for the work that we do.
And it's that advocacy that is dependent on a close network of valuable contacts that keeps George Jones keeping on.
I'm 70 next year, but I want to stay active. One, because you can't stay home all day. I'm not a very good golfer. I'm taking over as the chairman of the WACA at the end of July, and I'm a cricket fan nut, and I want to stay connected to business to help the WACA as well. And it's important for the work I do in the charity area to have that network, because it's that network that brings all the successes. I think everyone's got to give back. West Australians are pretty good at it, but we've still got a long way to go.